Well, Dave, I know you kind of talked about it last night. So there's that feeling of a sense of urgency. But do things feel a little bit different, just considering you guys are only one game ahead of the division, and how you've been seeing the team playing against each other?
I think it's more of, I mean, obviously the standing certainly, is incentive. How we're playing, I think, is more important. There's some good things certainly, but it's just the consistency that we're looking for. I love the way that the guys prepare. There's no panic, but it just goes to, like I said yesterday, it's just getting it done and finding ways to win a baseball.
With that, I mean, I know we talked about just the struggles of calling at bats. Guys are getting back on track. So what do you think is just really missing with that lack of consistency?
I think I think with the offense, I think it's just the consistency of it that one through. I think certain guys have turned the corner and are taking better bats, but there's times in a game where I feel winning a count, winning an at bat can make the difference in a ball game, and we're just not finishing. So I think that's part of it on the offense, but again, the intent's there, but it's just kind of finishing off things the right way, where today is going to be essentially a bullpen day. You got a young pitcher who's probably not going to go too deep, and you're going to see a handful of arms tonight, and you've got to take good at bats and manage the game and score more runs than those guys. But again, it also comes to the pitching. Emmett's got to go out there and throw the baseball well, and if he does that, gives a chance to win, then things should work out.
You guys have a move coming with Edgardo?
We are going to IL Brock Stewart. Brock has a little bit of shoulder inflammation, and so for us I feel good. We feel good that we got it early, and so I just started feeling a little bit of soreness about 4 days ago, and so right now I think we got ahead of it, and so to put him on the IL to make sure we can put it to bed, so he'll be back and help us.
So coming off his last outing, you started feeling it?
I'm not sure exactly which outing it was, but it was about 4 days ago, so that was the last outing.
He's going to go for testing?
He's going to go for testing tomorrow, so he'll go back up to LA tomorrow.
How much blow is that for an already depleted bullpen?
Right now, it's a big blow. Obviously, he's a big part of what we're trying to do, so to not have him available hurts. But I'm happy to get Edgardo back here and essentially put him in a leveraging position as far as dominating right-hand hitters and see if he can continue to do what he's done for us while he's been in.
A young guy, you think he's ready for leverage in the division race?
I think that if you look at our pen, there's a lot of young guys as far as service. So that's kind of what we have, and I put him in some tough spots already. So probably not. I mean, he hasn't run from things, so I feel good about exposing us.
And I know you guys are counting on getting a lot of these relievers back, but how much uncertainty does it add when you're going to have as many guys coming off injuries kind of late in the season as you're going to down the stretch here?
It's certainly an added layer of uncertainty, but guys like Kopech, Yates, Tanner, these are guys that have been around for quite some time, and to get them back end of August, something like that, it's plenty of time to get these guys back on track, I feel. So Tanner and Kirby are going to throw lives on Thursday here, or Kirby, I'm sorry, tomorrow, and then Tanner's going to do one potentially on Thursday, I think. And so to get these guys back, I think that is encouraging, but I'm not too concerned about them kind of once they get them.
If it feels like there's more need just for the bullpen and arms there with Rohi's, I know you said, of course, when he comes back, we're thought just the need is more in the bullpen where he could be preparing for a role like that right now?
Well, I think that anything's possible, but I think right now with Roki is to build him up as a starter. And, you know, you look at the rotation right now, you know, we don't have much, you know, more depth. And so if something does happen, you've got to be able to backfill. And obviously we put Obleski in the pen. He's a little bit more shortened up recently, so you've got to have somebody to backfill kind of the length.
Shohei seemed to be shaking his hand after a couple of swings last night. Was there something going on?
You know, that's funny. I asked the trainers about it, and they said that he felt it on his swing, but nothing to be concerned about. I had that same question this afternoon.
I think he hit a home run after.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Dave, Shohei has been running a little bit more recently, stealing more bases after going like all of June and July without really stealing any bases. Is that just coincidence, or is that to you like a sign that maybe he's starting to find a better balance in terms of tolerating the two-way thing and is in better shape for that?
I think it's a combo of feeling comfortable with where he's at physically and knowing what he can withstand, but also I think that he's trying to be proactive and create scoring opportunity for our ball club. I think that, you know, a stolen base here at second base to get in scoring position, to create some type of you know, action or something with our ball club. I think there's something behind that as well.
You've expressed concern about maybe overextending him as a pitcher and having it affect other aspects of his game. Would you be worried about him maybe trying to force action in that way and having that take away from him as a hitter or a pitcher?
You know, I think he's done a good job, and yeah, he's pushed it a little bit more recently. He's still got to play baseball. So if the game makes sense, and that's why, you know, I talked about that play the other day at third base. You know, if it makes sense to win a ball game and if it's the right play, you still got to play the game. I think he's as prepared as anyone I've ever been around. So I think he's got a good handle on the balance and what he can and can't handle.
Tomorrow isn't just going to be Shohei's first time pitching against the Angels, but the second time pitching against Stroud. What do you kind of remember about the WBC final, that at bat, like how much that has kind of maybe resonated as kind of a moment in the last 5 years or so?
I mean, if you're talking about on a world scale for baseball, that was, you know, as big as it gets. That moment, you know, Shohei kind of pumping up his Team Japan before that game against the U.S., and then that Trout Shohei at bat. That was epic. I was glued in, you know, so hopefully Shohei gets the best of him again tomorrow, but, you know, Mike's not going to back down, certainly, but that was definitely good for TV. That was fun.
Did you like watching Shohei the closer?
I loved watching Shohei the closer. That was great. I also like 5 innings of Shohei too. So, yeah, you know, we'll see. I mean, I think that Shohei wants to win. He's made that very clear. Whatever he can do to help us win a championship, he's in for. So, you know, right now we need him to take down innings.
Do you feel like in some of these innings where you guys haven't been able to cash in, you're feeling guys pressing a little bit, or just kind of sensing that, you know, given the way the last month and a half has gone, when you do have those opportunities to open up the game, come back or something like that, there's just a little added, whatever it is, pressure to try to make something happen?
I don't know. You know, I think at certain times, but I don't see this with our ball club. You know, I don't see that. I mean, obviously, guys want to come through in big spots, but I don't see it in this particular moment in time that we're pressing. I just don't. I could be wrong, but I don't see it. I don't see that.
Is that kind of one of the things you guys got to balance right now, is knowing like the rotation's getting healthy, you are starting to see some of the lineup turn the way you want, just kind of trusting that as long as those things happen, the overall results are going to turn too.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And I still, you know, you look at the ball club, and I like our ball club a lot. It's very talented, and you know, I still believe in our guys. And you still got to just play the game and expect it to turn. And I don't want to kind of do anything nuclear if I don't need to. But I'm keeping a close eye on things. I am.